right into one of my other questions. We kind of skipped over one of them. Is blood drinking really blood drinking? In Victorian times, that clearly stood in for something else. But what about now?
I think you definitely have the sexual connotations, especially since I know, like, Sabina and the other vampires, and in a lot of books, there's a almost sexual rush to ingesting it. I think there's also some religious connotations to drinking blood. I mean, certainly there's a lot of that in, you know, the Catholic religion. You know, it's part of the ceremony of the service, and so I think that there's, you know, that's an interesting kind of angle to it too. But and actually, in Sabina's world, for a vampire to feed from another vampire is the ultimate intimacy. It's not, you know, sex is intimate, but that, because it is such a submissive act to allow another vampire to feed from you, that it's a big deal. And so that's an interesting thing to play with in the series, because she actually is in a position where she, for a mission, has to allow another vampire to feed from her, and it's a big turning point for her in the story. So, yeah, I think there's definitely some sexual connotations there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously too, and I made the act of being a host for a vampire extremely sexually pleasurable, and that's how I got around the fact that Anna needed blood, because it was a great sexual experience for the human host, for the voluntary human host. So that's, yeah, that's
but
all
they do
tied
die,
together.
or they just
No.
Yeah, I really don't. I know there are people who do it, but I don't really find drinking blood. You talk about symbolically or submission, but the real drinking of blood in a sex scene is just not in my book. I'm just not there. I'm trending in it. I'm looking at kind of symbolic suggestions of that, because I recognize it, because the submission part, I think, it's a trust part then, doesn't it, become, if you have that, and that becomes very interesting for the characters. So I'm working it out right now. You know, it's like Clark Gable in Gone with the Wind. That's what the vampire figure can often be in your book, a very dominant, interesting one that the heroine doesn't necessarily see as the partner at the time. And so he can kind of go any which way, and I have a character like that. But I'm sticking to humans right now, and they're not mainlining blood.